Hare Krishna, this is Navneet and I welcome you to Vyasa Astro channel. In this video, we'll talk about the Chandra Grahan, the lunar eclipse, March 14th, 2025. And I'll talk about the impact of this Grahan in the various parts of the world, in India, in Asia, and how this is going to impact your life, your workforce, your mental health, physical health, and your economic status. We'll talk about what exactly is the meaning of Chandra. Then we'll talk about what does Chandra do when it is in the Uttara Falguni nakshatra and when it gets a lot of heat, which is also coming from the Purva Bhadrapada where we have sun. And we'll talk about the Purnima Vrata, how we will be doing the Vrata, we should do it, we should not do it, and the protocols of the fasting when we have an eclipse. Moon. Moon is one planet which is the planet of nourishment. It's the planet of your food. It's the planet of your mental health. It's the planet of your longevity. And whenever moon is afflicted in somebody's horoscope, you have effect on all these things. You have effect on your longevity, you have effect on the kind of food you consume and the kind of digestion you get. And is your food giving you that nourishment? Even if you're eating a very healthy food, still, it doesn't give you nourishment if your digestion is not good. Chandra is also about your mental health. It's about a good sound sleep that you can get in the night. It's about longevity. It's about that mental health which can lead to many diseases like obsessive compulsive disorder. You can have anxiety, a lot of stress, especially people will complain that they have a lot of anxiety near the Purnima or Amavasya or around these particular tithis. So this eclipse, I'm going to talk about the timings in India and wherever you are, America, Australia, Canada, whichever part of the world you are, just calculate these timings according to your time zone. This eclipse roughly begins at 9:30 in the morning and will conclude at 3:30 p.m. afternoon in India. The highest level of this eclipse is at around 12:30 p.m. Indian Standard Time, which is the peak, it is Sampurna, complete. Now, you see, ladies and gentlemen, this particular, eclipse, especially the lunar eclipse, there is something known as Sutak, the effect which will come that starts at 9 hours before the beginning of the eclipse. So in India, there is no Sutak because it will be a day. You will have Surya and the moon will not be visible. So that is why there is no Sutak in India. So temples will be open. You can do your puja. You can do whatever you're doing. You can also fast on that day. But for all those students who are, or my followers who are in US, North America, South America, Atlanta, Pacific Ocean, people who are in Australia, people who are in Europe, and I'll name the countries like people who are in Italy, Germany, England, right? People who are in Western Africa, and then we've got people in Australia. This particular eclipse will be visible, and there will be Sutak. Got to be careful, especially for pregnant women, and you are in this part of the world. You need to lie down straight and keep chanting. Or if it is because obviously it is around night or midnight or, you know, late evening, early morning time for you people in different parts of the world. I would suggest you to rest because Chandra is the Karak of food. Chandra is the Karak of what you eat and how does it affects your body. You can finish your food before 9:30 a.m. Indian Standard Time. Convert it into your own time zone, wherever you are. And you should try to avoid food. You can have water if you want. And there is a grass known as kusha, which is to be kept in your kitchen around the food items. It's a grass, okay? Kusha grass, you can search it. In the many parts of the world, it is available. Also, you keep that kusha around you in your kitchen, in your food items, in the temple, shut the temple. Why do we do all these things? It looks little awkward in the modern life. It's because of the energy that we have, in the universe. It's like, you see, there are five nakshatras which are Panchak nakshatras, starting from Dhanishta to Satabisha to Puru Bhadrapada, Uttar Bhadrapada, and Revati. These Panchak nakshatras are also associated with our Panch Tattvas. For an example, Dhanishta is earth element. Satabisha, goes to Jala, and Purva Bhadrapada is Agni, Uttar Bhadrapada is Vayu, and Revati is Antariksha. So when Sun is in Purva Bhadrapada, because of that excessive heat and excessive Agni, it is actually affecting this moon a lot. And when I say moon, it's your mind. You might have seen many Chandra eclipse, they were going and coming in the previous years also. We had videos on the YouTube. But this particular Chandra eclipse, the moon eclipse, the lunar eclipse, is a little difficult when it comes to handling your mental peace and psychology. The first thing that I want, and the meaning of the Jyotisha is that you know it is happening. All you have to do is control your reaction. And especially people who have their moon in the sign of Leo or in the sign of Virgo, or you got planets in these particular, nakshatras, especially the nakshatra of Chandra, which is the Uttara Falguni nakshatra. And Uttara Falguni is a nakshatra that has energy of, again, Surya. And Uttara Falguni nakshatra is a born leader. And when you are a born leader, you have a psychology, you have that ego within yourself. You have that energy to lead things from the front. And trust me, for next 6 months, you're going to have many ego clashes. And this is the time when the egos of the countries will be hit. You've seen that incident between, the president of US and Ukraine. That's nothing but that's an ego clash. You see, what happens with such, you know, uh, such circumstances when you have these difficult eclipse is that your mental peace takes a major hit. It's not that, the world will shake. Of course, there are some natural phenomena that happens because of the magnetic force of the Chandra and getting a lot of heat coming from the Surya in the Purva Bhadrapada There can be some, volcano eruptions or earthquakes or minor earthquakes, or there can be issues of fire or a construction site going down or an accident which can eventually turn into a fire or a conversation which can go very bad. So you got to be careful. But on the same time, we as humans have got brains. We've got minds, we've got gurus, teachers, we've got sadhana, we can communicate. And the biggest thing is that we as a human have ability to control our emotions. And that's something which is very, very important. That's what everyone should do when they know that the time is not right. You see, it is very easy to create fears in the minds of the people by saying that, oh, we have a moon eclipse, get ready for that disaster, get ready for, you know, something big is coming and there's a world war. You see, you'll also find a lot of sensible people who would avoid world war. No country, at a certain point of time would get into a war where the entire world is burning. No, it will come to the peace. But the only thing is why people say all these things. Because these particular phenomena, like, we have this moon eclipse and we have a solar eclipse coming, they affect your mind, your ego, the food that you eat. And you know what? Rishis are not talking about the digestion. They're talking about the digestion of your emotions. You're not able to, digest certain emotions. And then you start vomiting out. And when you start vomiting out, it's like you're giving a very ugly emotions that are coming out. That's the meaning. You say the fifth house, sixth house is your stomach and digestion. So fifth house, the stomach and the digestion is what rishis are talking about is the digestion of your emotions as well as along with the food. So how emotionally you can gather yourself is the challenge in this eclipse. You have to be strong emotionally. And that is why I say all my students, 99%, they fast on Purnima. So if you are in the area of Sutak, then you're not supposed to touch any mala or do not open the temple because that energize, you get it automatically getting exposing it to that negative energy, and that's negative energy that goes in. But it's very important to fast. You should fast wherever you are in this world. You should also do your japa. The best mantra during this eclipse is Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Narayanaya. The two separate mantras. So for 2-3 hours you do Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. For 2-3 hours you do Om Namo Narayanaya. And if you are in India, you should also do Satyanarayan Katha. You can listen to it. But astrologically, if you're a student of Jyotisha, even if you are not in that country where moon is visible, because in India it's day and there's no moon, and you say though there's no eclipse, but at astrological level it is yes. And as a student of astrology, if you're doing the Purnima Vrata, I would always suggest you that do this mantra, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, all the time. Tomorrow it is also Holi on March 14th. So people would like to celebrate. Fine, celebrate. No problem. People would want to eat something in India. Eat. No problem. But when this phenomena is happening somewhere in this universe, and we all are connected to planets, grahas, it's my humble request that please do not take any arishta bhojana. When I say arishta bhojana, means the food which is purely tamasic. Definitely in India, during the Holi, people drink wines and whiskeys and whatnot, alcohol. Please, you can avoid that. It will be a humble request because I've seen in my past experience people who've consumed alcohol or liquor or non-vegetarian food during the drinks or during the eclipse. They have found themselves in legal troubles with the government, legal troubles with their emotional health. Like they were like traveling, and then they were emotionally very angry for something. They had a small fight which turned out to be a bigger fight, and there's a legal case going on. So you will get into such troubles if you have a lot of tamasic food, because Chandra is food. It's the it's a mental food as well as the food which is required for physical health. So even if you're celebrating in India, try to stick to those sweets of gujia and aloo bhaji or whatever you take. Do not get into, you know, the negative food, the tamasic food whole day, not even in the evening. Because the Chandra would have just come out of the eclipse and still not very happy about the phenomena, not very happy about the heat. And on the same time, Surya will be also in the Sankranti Yoga, where even Surya is in those 29 degrees and above, up till 1 degree from Purnima to Pratipada, is also where Surya is also not very happy about the situation. That 1.5 day is where Surya also feels all over the place and not confident and doesn't like to interact, doesn't like to give you that blessing which is required when the sun is very, very happy. So one, we have that eclipse. The two, we have that Sankranti dosha. Three, that we have fire coming from the Purva Bhadrapada. Purva Bhadrapada is a nakshatra which is at times can become very, very cruel. I've seen great doctors uh, who are surgeons, who would be born in Purva Bhadrapada. I mean, they can separate things, they can transform people, they can cut people. That is why I said that you be very careful when it comes to driving. There are chances of accidents because that heat, that energy, you know, is coming from Surya, which also contains that force of Purva Bhadrapada. And here in Uttara Falguni, it's about being leader. It's about being that confidence, that knowledge that you provide to the world, that can be shaken. People will try to, point out of the certain things that you've done in your life for no reason. And the things that should not be pointed out, you'll get that heat for next 6 months. On the same time, the protocols of fasting are the same in India, but it's different in the parts where you have eclipse. All is that you have to keep doing the japa. You can do the fasting. For pregnant females, you've got to be very, very conscious about moving out at that time. Don't take that negative force, that negative magnetic force, because Chandra is still there. It's in the eclipse, right? Try to avoid eating, lay down, do your japa. Do not touch your malas, but in your mind, keep chanting Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. And in India, you people, expose your kheer, the rice pudding that you make to the Chandra on that very day. You're not supposed to do it for tomorrow. You need not expose, your food, to the moon when it is an eclipse in whichever part of the world you are. Because for tomorrow in India, the evening of the 14th March, you say the eclipse is gone. Fine, now we can have that Purnima night and we'll have that, food exposed to the Chandra to get the blessings. Just avoid it for a day. Try in the next Purnima. Don't do it in this Purnima. There were students asking me, can we have tea, coffee? See, ideally, all these tea, coffees are not Rajasic or Sattvic, they're Tamasic foods. But if you can't live, you can always try a herbal coffee or a herbal tea, right? If you really want to have it. Otherwise, have food, which is like fruits. You can have a little bit of milk if you want to have. Try and avoid the normal white salt. If you want, you can use the sendha namak. You can take one meal, right? People will ask, oh, can we give arga to the Chandra? I would say just for a day. You just fast and chant. Do the Harinam, do Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Even if you're in India, people will say, okay, you can read, Satyanarayan Katha. Go ahead, read. It's not, the Sutak is not there. But when it comes to exposing your food or giving arga to the Chandra, if you can avoid and just pray to the Chandra that, hey Chandra, we are with you in these difficult times, and you impact on our, brain and mind and soul, right? Please, give us energy, reciprocate that energy that we prayed for you, right? And now it's 6 months because your effect is our effect, right? And we will face that emotional turmoil. And people who have better dashas running in their life, people who have no sadasati or ending their sadasati, people who have, uh, you know, good antardashas, the effect will be less. You'll be able to control your mind, you will be able to control your nerve. But if you have a really turbulent dasha running on and you are in a conflict already, you are in a case already, and you're consuming all the tamas whole day, it's going to be difficult 6 months because just after a few days, it is followed by a Surya Grahan also, right? And then obviously, I'm coming up with a video on Saturn in Pisces tomorrow, detailed, video with all the 12 rashis and ascendants. We'll talk about nakshatras, we'll talk about their energies, their padas, right? And some very important remedies for next 2.5, 3 years that are very, very important. But number one, do not be scared of grahans. I mean, obviously, it is a time to be a little bit conscious about the energy which is around the world. You need to be more connected to your mind. If you are getting certain feelings to say something, or you're getting agitated, or you are losing your temper, see, we are humans. We know that we can control our nerve. We can keep chanting Ram Ram when you have such emotions coming. All you got to do is that stay conscious with the God. And that God could be Vaheguru, Allah, Ram, Jesus, whosoever. That is the same energy in different forms. Exactly same energy. Like there's a sun outside. You may call it sun, you may call it Surya, you may call it Aftab, whatever. It's still the same sun, right? Giving you the same energy, right? So that's what God is all about. It's different ways of, feeling that supreme power, nothing else. So it's time to be conscious. And if there are certain natural calamities, the earth will shake, let it shake. If you have good dasha, you will survive. And even if you don't have good dasha, if you have Naam Simran under your belt, you pray to that God, you still survive. And you will call this as an experience. So all these eclipses that you see are experiences, right? If it is good, right, it is also an opportunity to come in the good books of those celestial powers that you are praying and being sattvic, even if it is a holy or celebrating, but not consuming liquor or non-veg or anything, and staying in that consciousness that I know I'm celebrating here, right? But I know you are eclipsed. I'm there for you. I'm praying for you, right? And since I'm praying for you, it will reciprocate to me with a good mental health so that I can survive, right? My dasha. It's a good dasha, still it is good to pray, right? You'll enhance your time. If it is a bad dasha, it's compulsory to pray, right? Kali Yuga Kevala Namadhara, Simar Simar Narutre Para. So you need to pray as much you can with whatever name. And if you don't pray, meditate, right? Meditate. Or simple word Ram at any part of the world is fine. At any religion, it's fine. Just say Ram, Ram, Ram. That's it. And even if you don't believe in this word, you can just chant your parents' name. because they are God for you. They are Brahma. They created you. Just keep chanting your father's name or your mother's name. It will give you equal results. That's what the take on moon eclipses. Pregnant sisters, you know, moms out there, be very careful. And if you're in the US or Canada or in Europe or Australia, Africa, right? Be very, very careful. Try avoid eating, but have water if you want to have, right? Try to get that, kusha, that's green grass. If it is not available in your country, right, no problem. You can just open your water bottle, just keep near your, and just energize it by saying Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Do one mala, 108. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Keep that water near. It will get energized. Have it. Or you can ask the most spiritual person in your family to do it for you. Same, you can do it with your food, right? But I know you can avoid for 5 6 hours. If you're hungry, you want something, have it without a second thought that it's wrong. No, nothing is wrong, but you need to be conscious. Do not party, do not drink, do not smoke, do not go out for a jog, do not go out in the car to just roam around. Avoid these things. Sit back home and pray. In India, you can do whatever you want to do, there's no sutak. But astrologically, it has an impact. There's this fiery energy from Purva Bhadrapada, and that ego hurtness, the ego will be hurt. You'll feel certainly bad about many things. That's the theme of this eclipse. Anyways, we are humans and we are consciousness. We have consciousness within us. We also have ability to control. That's it. I'll come back again. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much.